أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم، كل عام وأنتم بخير. اليوم 13 من 6 1447 هجري، والموافق يوم الخميس. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to our beautiful mothers and our fathers, our grandparents, our ancestors of our tribe, where our mothers and fathers is birth, and their mothers and their fathers were birth. And that is how the cycle in earth is continued. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. It is the 13th of Jamad al-Akhir. We are in the white days, or white nights, wherever you want to put it. It is the final solar month of this calendar for 2025. It's a super moon that you are going to be witnessing, inshallah ta'ala. The sun supplies light, okay, to the days where you and I were in the dark, mashallah. So today we want to share with our brothers and our sisters, our mothers and our fathers, who has forgotten what Allah has installed in your lost memory, in our lost memory. When I say you, I say I, because we are all in a collective conscious. Things that we have to, things we have to share at this moment in our journey, so that we become lighter in terms of not withholding this information and this knowledge, mashallah. All the knowledge that you actually needed was only in the Quran. It was nowhere else. The only people that has given us the essence and the insight was the ancestors of our tribe, our bloodline, okay, who had passed it on for thousands and thousands of years, okay. What happened in the process is that, okay, so your memory loss is what Allah calls your ghaib. Alladina yu'minuna bil ghaib. Okay, everything about your journey and my journey and the planet's journey and the evolution and the dimensions and how you have to grow to get to the next level of maturity, everything is in our DNA. It's all inside of us, okay? It's not outside of us, okay? So, when we speak about the future memory, it is referred to in the Quran as what we as a tribe, as a human civilization that is now in her last breath, okay? We had considered it when we are dead. We will understand what the ghaib is. Okay, ghaib comes from the word fi ghayabatil jubbi. Okay, people, I will want to tell you, we understand the Quran in her ruh, not in her physicality, in a literally, in other words. Okay, because the Quran is sound, and if you preserve your fitra, your innate, then Allah must speak to you all the time when you're reading the Quran. Allah speaks to you directly. You might not comprehend it at a certain moment as you grow through the process, but whilst we are a country, we are a community, we are a soul tribe, ons het al geleer batsara Quran voor toe skool toe gegaan het. Ons het geleer die surahs, ons het salah gemaak met ons ma's en ons het gesien ons pa's maak salah. So we were already connected, and this was not just in our home. This was in most of our people of the community of the tribes' houses. This was our second nature, okay? Ons het die groot surah gebad, toe het ons na die klein surah gegaan en toe het ons begin in die Koran en het hulle gegee 'n groot function. These were the traits that had lived and was planted and sowed in our community, which was the amana which Allah gave them, which they had fulfilled. Okay, our mothers, our great mothers, our great grandmothers, we tell them that their children, our mothers and our fathers, they had fulfilled the covenant. So you might not know your great grandfather's name, you might not understand him and not understand where you fit into the puzzle, because of your and my disconnection in the alam of the ghaib, in the world where you and I lost our memories. Okay? That was the memory that you and I had realized that when we leave this dimension, after one generation, nobody's going to remember you. Like we cannot refreshen our ghaib of our ancestors, that we are a carrier of their genetics. Okay? Nou onze moeders en onze vaders in die land, in die tribe, die khalifas, die imams, die muallimas, die ustadas, die sopang mense in die land, mashallah, Allah give them nur wherever they are living. They couldn't give us the answers directly, otherwise they would compromise their books. Okay, each one comes with a chain. Okay, they lock their chain, and that is how they pass on the next chain. Okay, the silsila. They cannot tell you directly what your exam papers entails. That is not what Allah didn't give them that right. That is not how the system works. Okay? But what they can do for you is they can tell you what is still going to happen. Now, also forefathers, also khalifas in die land, in our community, hulle was nie intellectuals nie, hulle was nie scientists nie, hulle was nie psychologists nie, hulle was maar net mense wat anders gewees het. Hulle was net mense wat geweet het wie hulle is, waar hulle plek is, waar hulle sit is en waar hulle staan is. They were people that never lived a lie. Okay? Hulle kan nie gelieg het vir hulle self, because they were too natural people. En ons as kinders, ons het altyd gewees in hulle company. Ons voorvaders het altyd vir ons stories vertel. Altyd vir ons gesê van wat gaan gebeur en waar het gaan gebeur en hoe gaan dit gebeur, en hy het vir ons vertel van die Dajjal en van die Mahdi, en these were things our ancestors told us. We didn't hear Tom and Jerry stories, and we didn't get exposure to that kind of mimics. Okay, they interacted and connected with our ruhs, and they planted these memories that would activate at the time that we will reach that boundary line. Okay, all your mother's people, all in this city, we must be honest with ourselves, because Allah is hearing us. Okay, all our mothers of our generation, we are now from the 60s and the 70s. Okay, we can say without a doubt that they had sown these seeds in our presence. Okay, vir ons was dit nie bygeloofies nie. We as children at that moment in time, we believed it. Why did we believe it? Because we were pure. Okay. Now your memory, your DNA, your scrolls, your cellular lights, okay, your membranes, okay, all of this holds the frequency that you should tap in if you are pure, if you are authentic, if you are honest. Okay, firstly with yourself. Okay, if you lie, tell yourself you're lying and try to rectify the lie. Okay, don't live in that lie continuously, because then you are polluting all your blood cells. Okay, all your memory cells are being clogged and it is non-accessible. Right? So that is one of the greatest reasons why ons oupas en oumas, laat ek vir julle 'n stukkie vertel. Soms het hulle eie brood geneem na 'n function en eet hulle daai brood of whatever hulle gemaak het by die huis, because hulle wil nie geëet het buite kan die mense. Wallahi, wallahi. But you and I couldn't realize it, but ek het dit gesien met my oë. I saw these things with these elderly people. Hulle was nie imams of sheikhie, but they knew who they were. They were authentic. Okay? Hulle was maar net hulle self en hulle wil maar net hulle amanat uitgedraai het, gelewer het. And they did so by giving the tribe different things that the children should be engaged in, like donderdag aan se week, sondagoggend se gadat, Sarah ma, Saturdays we never used to do much, okay? Sundays, certain already Ratib Sarah Anas Saman week. These are things that was authentic to this tribe, and as children of this community, and wherever you as a human being consider yourself to have been misplaced, or I consider myself to have landed here in this stage and this place by mistake, you must understand, this people and these great ancestors of our tribe, our community, they were not super rich. Niemand het gebreek oor geld uit dit nie. Okay? Niemand het gebreek oor 'n kar uit dit nie. Niemand het gebreek iemand is beter as die ander nie. Ons neefs, we were proud of our cousins, people. We used to love our cousins. We couldn't stop as die cousins na ons kom visit, ons gaan visit vir hulle. En dan staan ons 'n ander vriende af, because dis was 'n eie wat kom, because we felt them. We knew who they were because we knew who we were. Okay, but that is the culture, that is the embryo that our ancestors had gehekel vir ons en op ons kop gesit. Okay, speaking metaphorically for you today. Okay, now whilst they planted those seeds in our DNA and in our memories, just as assistance for us, because they were able to read what was to unfold in our lives. Okay? That is the amana van Allah, people. We must give the flashes to the children, tell them, kyk so ouentjies, ze gaan kom na 'n bend toe en ze gaan leer 'n pas en ze gaan kom daar so. Kyk so, slow down before you come to that. Nou jy moet hy doen en jy moet hy doen, because dit gaan gebeur. Hoe het hulle dit geweet? Nie omdat hulle net die Quran gebad het nie, because they were honest and they remembered their scrolls. Okay, they could understand and they could tell us, kyk so, die pad na die Baitullah gaan eendag toe. Hulle kan gebeur gesê het dat eendag gaan die gebeur. Vandag wat ons groot mense is, vandag wat ons oumas en oupas is, realize ons, wat hoe die mense aan die goed is gebeur. Because they were connected to the main source. They had access to the free network that Allah Ta'ala allows you to be subscribed to when you took care of the amanat. Okay? The amanat, people, is all inside of us, in our memories. It's locked in there, awaiting us to unlock it and to decode it and to find the treasures, that you will know what is going to unfold as you grow and as your children and your grandchildren. That is the amana of the dunya. Okay? That is why we can say we believe in Jannah. Not by, like most of our people in earth today, they are only wishing. Hello, wish it's what you are, because you can't stay in that system where they wish, but they het niks in sig nie. It's almost like Allah didn't give it to you. Okay, then you're actually we are actually just punishing ourselves, having to have a belief, but we don't know how to cross that bridge. Okay, so when our ancestors of this tribe in the south, when they raised children, they raised children to find them in the Jannah. Okay, they didn't raise children to gamble with their futures and their lives. No, they gave us the truth, the amana. We didn't find it in other lands. Even though we spent, in myself, we spent more than 35 years outside of our lands. Okay, but when we were in our infant stages, they made sure whatever it is that will invoke fear into us, they would try to give us something in order to bring the calm, so that we will understand that die pad gaan wees veilig om huis toe te gaan. Okay? So everything that we needed to know, they had imparted to us the tools how to go about to keep that engine running. Okay, until we got to the boundary line, then we had to understand by ourselves in 2020, 1441. Okay, are we gonna go back to what we only got to know because we could not activate our memory stick? Ons kan nie meer onthou wat ons voorvaders vir ons gesê het nie, en ons kan nie meer ingegaan het nie. We couldn't activate that internal drive, the heart's drive. We did not have any formulas, any programs, okay, any software that would activate that genetics to make us understand, guys, ons moet ons kinders vertel wat is die next leg of this journey in earth and beyond. Okay? Why we are doing this today is because we have to clear these scrolls in the presence of Allah subhanahu. Don't hold your parents, don't hold your ancestors responsible for the mess that we are finding ourselves in. Okay? Most of us are completely in a twilight zone. Okay? Most of us has lost the keys to get into our scrolls. Okay? I'm including myself. I'm not excluding myself. Okay? All of us are included because we live in a collective consciousness. But more so, we lost that connection with the ancestors. And that is the price we are paying today, because we are bionically indoctrinated because of the cyber world. Okay? What is virtual had become a reality in our lives. What was a fictional currency had become a powerful tool in our lives in earth, whilst knowing earth was just virtual. It was just going to be a simulation. They told us this. Our forefathers, ons khalifas, ons ustads and muallims, we wouldn't have gotten it out from the Christus school. Ons het gekry van die regte mense wat gekom het daarvandaan. Daarvoor weet ons, waar moet ons vir hulle kry? Daarvoor onhou ons vir hulle nog altyd. Ons onhou ons muallima se naam. We understand these things, people, because that is who we are. We are ruh. We are conscious. We are who we are because we're never going to forfeit that connection with our most high Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who our grandparents and our grandmothers in our infancy taught us the sifats al-mutakallim, as-sami, al-basir, al-kalim, al-haya. Hulle het vir ons oude goedes geleer, dan het ons maar net het gemimik agter hulle, but vandag is het like normal in ons lewe. Why? Now we have that ability to know how to engage and communicate with Allah because their sifat is sitong is activated in our genes. It's activated in our cellular lights. It's activated in our memories. Okay? So when it comes to the end of where you have to now cross the line, okay, then they cannot assist you at that moment in time. Hulle sit maar nou net en wag en kyk. Het ons 'n goeie job gedoen of het ons gemes up? Okay? Now, a lot is happening where you and I cannot engage or tap into the reality, but you and I feel that we are being gripped here. Time is no longer what time was, okay? 1 month is 1 week if you are conscious, because there is no time where we are currently. Since COVID, this thing has been already activated. Because you cannot run to your ancestors because you lost connection with them. You think they are dead because you and I are dead. Okay? But their death is because of our ignorance. Okay? If they planted that seeds, if they as hulle gewerk het in jou lewenstyd, gehou het op by donderdagsane, die bietjie bidse die Koran, maar altyd onthou wat hulle gesê het, and no, you wouldn't have had fear as what the anxiety and the disease is now breaking out in this new dispensation and cycle that is coming in after the 21st of December in the Rajab period. Okay? You don't see it, you feel it, because you are in your band. It's in your band. Okay? And that is how they feed that side notes that they gave you whilst you read the internal Quran. The Quran is a frequency. Everything that we are living is scripted before we got here already. You just don't know because you don't know who you are. I don't know who I am. But everything is playing out exactly how it is supposed to be playing out because Allah scripted it first, people. That is what the Quran is. It was first, Noon wal qalami wa ma yasturun, ma anta bi ni'mati rabbika bi majnun. Do you think Allah is going to sing something without programming it first? And that was all downloaded in our levels of psychology and our levels of density, okay? And as deep as you go into your density, that's the dark, that's the layl. That's the layl that you are referring to, the night. But that's actually the dark end of the simulation, okay? Now we are coming into the Fajr now, okay? We are now breaking out of that simulation. That movie is over. That movie is klaar. Ons weet dit was maar net 'n staged iets, okay? But because we became so deeply infatuated in materialism and consumerism and money, okay, that we replaced Allah and Akhirah with money, and we showed our children that they can live without Allah, but not with Allah. That is the one idol that Ibrahim could not destroy. Allah left that for the parents to destroy themselves. Religion is not going to teach you anything at this moment in time because religion has been compromised. All religions. At this time in a civilization, in a cycle, in the scriptures, okay, Allah's given us everything and it's inside of us if we are awoken, if we know who we are, if we read between the ribs, okay, it's all. You cannot tell Allah you gave us a bad experience. You can never ever tell Allah because Allah fulfills His promise, okay. And nor can we say that we come from the wrong lineage, that we happen to come here and then somebody came here with the Quran. People, you have no idea what the Quran is. You have no idea because you even don't have an idea how to explain to yourself as old as you are what Jannah is. So you have to come to terms at this intersection that when you are lost, you are lost. Innal insana lafi khusr. Okay? Because now that we have plasticized and credited that genealogy and that genetics, we cannot get back to our natural order to tap into the mainstream that gives us our daughter, our ma, our nutrition people. We need ma, and ma you're only going to get in the sama. Okay, you're not going to get it yani, where you thought you were living a past life, because that life is dead. You can't go back to that reality. Allah doesn't rewind the movie. Nature never returns the same cycle. You are going yani, psychologically, metaphysically, physiologically, yani, scientifically, you are going into a brand new reality. And because you couldn't tap into the ancestral scrolls, okay, you couldn't be the authentic being that they brought into earth. You couldn't preserve their seed, okay. I couldn't preserve that. Now we are sitting and waiting on another man. Now we are saying Jesus is coming back, and we're saying Mahdi is coming back, and this one is coming back. People, we know what is happening. We know what's happening here. We're not dead here. Okay, we are alive in this cloud of what reality guides us to understand, because we are we are pure to our nature as what our ancestors were. We did not get what is the word? We did not get carried away, people. We didn't we didn't worry about our certificates and our titles and our money in the bank and our car and that was never ever something that made our ancestors who they were. They didn't let that get into the bloodstreams and get into politics and these things today. Not that it is wrong. I'm just giving you how they kept us authentic so that we could see today in clear proximity how this boat is going to go. Okay? In a reality, you only live in psychology, people. Whatever you know, it's only experienced in your mind. Okay? The fear, the love, all is just inside of you. You're not experiencing it outside. You've just been virtually taken into the dark hole here. And now that the lights are off and the new dawn is coming, you had to make your way to the front door. You had to make your way to the front door, because now it's who is coming with his khatam and nabiyyin. We can see, I can clearly hear a look. Okay, this is what your concept and my concept is about Jannah, because you already went past the trial. You are now coming into a psychology where you will be in forever Jannah or forever Jahannam. That's the psychology that is coming in now. It's imma shakiran wa imma kafura. Okay, we can't blame shuyukh, we can't blame ulama, because elke een gaan met sy pakkie na die mark toe alleen, guys. It's just if you got infatuated with external human beings and idolized prophets and idolized this and that, that's not their problem. That's you and my problem. That's our problem. Okay? So the memories that we have to realize that is still inside of us. Never too late. Let me tell you that. Let me tell you, Allah Ta'ala is like, oh, Allah Ta'ala, you will never find a heart like that. Never ever. Because whatever we've done to Allah, whatever shirk we have engaged in, how we made a superficial God for most of our lives, guys, in that dimension, because we must now see the results, okay? The results, this is Yawmuddin, okay? How close are we to our natural order, the natural deen? Al-yawma akmaltu lakum deenakum, okay? How natural can you get back into the house, okay? Into the bait and put on the nur? How natural can we do that? Or are you and I afraid? Are we fearful? Can't we get that out? Because why? Because of the culture of the lies we live, the gods we created. We made gods parallel to Allah. Okay? We made two gods in one body, two hearts in one body. Okay? We exchanged Allah people. We exchanged the power of Allah. We exchanged the power of He who is yani, Al-Ghani. Okay? He who is most rich. Okay? He who is most yani, intelligent. Okay? We had messed up that paradigm completely. Okay? And we then switched to an artificial mechanism which we think had scientifically given us stability until today, and now the game is about to be blown off. Okay? This is not fear talks, people. Ek praat nie mense bang nie, because there is no fear basically. If you are a believer, you can't have fear at this stage in your life, because yani, Allah already put you through the trials in order to get to where you have to. It's just because ons hang op valse yani, ideals en ideas en gelde yani, wat ons nie meer in idee kan kom nie. And what is the sad part here is that your children and my children will see what we were made of when the curtains are open. Okay? That is die waarheid. This is as Allah Ta'ala speaks about in the Quran. Okay? Again, we are not scholars. Ons maak nie om scholars te wees om Jannah te gaan. Ons maak nie om predikante te wees. Ons maak nie om popes te wees. Ons maak net om te weet wat is ons waarheid en wat voel ons en wat sien ons as ons voel. Okay? Your body, our bodies are the most sophisticated tool. If you and I had preserved it and made this your sanctuary, okay? When you are aware of what you put into your mouth. Nie net riba nie, mens. Dis 'n monopoly game. But when you are conscious that you don't need much to live, food was never top on the priority. Okay? Daar was nie baie groceries because elke Vrydag after Juma dan het deur gegaan. Dan koop ons die groceries en die mineral. Dan koop hy net vir die week. Hy het nie gekoop vir 'n maand uit nie. Because hulle het gewerk met 'n bietjie altyd en 'n bietjie was altyd genoeg. Right? These important lessons that we were given by the forefathers educated us with Allah's qudra. Dat ons nie kan carried away with en vir ons gaan sit in diepe skuld die einde van die dag. Right? Ons is bang vir skuld because ons forefathers het nooit gewys so iets in ons lewe en in ons culture. Okay, daarvoor is ons authentic tribes, hulle lewe nog altyd so, hulle is mutma'in, hulle is contented until the time comes when they will get their chance to enjoy what they will see now when they read the scrolls and they activate and they keep on the ancestral patterns and codes. They will now understand why their ancestors had activated their memories, why they had continued in this Mauluds and in this Ratibs and in the Samanveka, and how they preserved that original bloodline that where they come from. Okay? The other part of it is now when you have and I have exchanged our authentic memories, what Allah had inscribed in our path, with synthetic artificial intelligence via telephones, via televisions, via laptops, that simulation now is going to turn against you because it's not made for your DNA, it's made for the next generation's DNA because they are already on that wave of thoughts. Okay? Our thoughts are waves, people. We are electromagnetic. Okay? Our bodies are carbon. Right? Our conscious is connected to the collective of all that be. Right? Because how are you going to go without your body into the Jannah? Have you ever asked yourself that? Now your children already has answers for that, and you and I are stuck because you are physically entrapped in a reality that you cannot exit because you cannot access your memories growth. Okay, your journey in your time of your transition, where we are now, is in Surah Yusuf. It's everything about our civilization. For you to have found the Yusuf, you have to find the hikmah so that you can activate after Yusuf. Yusuf activates Isa in realms, okay, in psychology, in intelligence, in purity, in bringing in that new dawn, okay, where he becomes the kalimatullah. It's nothing physical yet. Nothing physical, it's ruhaniyan. It is conscious. If your body can reciprocate that frequency, that database, that that scroll, okay? It's a kitab, it's a kitab, right? But by now, in the natural order, why was Ibrahim on Nuh's ship? Okay, it's all nafas. Nafas, anfus is your breath, man. It's how you reciprocate that medium of understanding, of the thoughts, of the activating of the scrolls. That's it. That's it. That's it. Okay, but because our bodies are pure, ons het nie gaan ons het nie ons oë te groot gaan maak nie. Ons het nie ons bodies seer gemaak nie. We didn't oor geëet nie. Ons het nie poison in ons bodies gaan sit nie. Ons het getry om te bly as natural and as pure wherever we could find ourselves in this earth. Okay, that's why it's the life is easy because it is natural, and that is how Jannah is supposed to be. Jannah is supposed to be وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ. Allah simplified it to us in so many ways, just for us to know that we are in a safe zone as a tribe from this land. Okay. Now that we have found ourselves in this web of a reality, it's a wahan and a wahm. Okay, it's going to become clear as it's happening inside of us. We are being gripped inside for us not to come out. That's the problem. Die wat al uit is uit. Maar die wat nou sukkel, hulle word nou gesukkel, hulle word afgestoot. It's energy that is pushing us down like this. Alright. Nou, die scientists kan nie vir julle die dinge sien nie. Die governments kan nie vir julle die sien nie, because hulle het 'n contract gemaak met die reality that they will try to float you for as long as you can, because they want your attention. They are looking for your currency, your sovereignty. When you forget who you are, you become their prisoners, you become their slaves, and that's why they've always been giving you the narrative that you come from slaves, and you come from roots where there's slaves, and you come into a place, in a space where there was a ship that sank. Okay, al die goeie gee hulle vir julle, because hoekom vir ons? Because dan moet ons dit memorize, ons moet dit swat, en dan moet ons exam skryf, dat dan is ons succesvol, en agterna raak ons historians, maar dan vergiet ons waar moet ons gewees het. Now that is what happened to most of humanity in this age. We forgot who we were. We forgot this as a play of the game. Okay? And now we are intellectuals, we are politicians, we are all these kind of things. Of course, the idea vir ons is. En die kinders kyk vir ons toe aan en dink hulle, "Yo, could you have lost your way so badly in this very temporal state where you just had to write one paper and then it would have been over the whole anxiety that you came here for." Okay. What was the order why our forefathers and sisters het vir ons altyd herinner? Het kan kom enige tyd. Because the Quran says so, فَجْأَةً. Now that we've been going through this metamorphosis, yani, time is no longer what it was, seasons is no longer what it is. It's not happening outside of us, it's happening inside of us. It's all happening inside, it's unconscious. Your higher self is experiencing it, but you cannot come in the house. That's why you cannot make or activate, and I cannot activate the memory of our ghaib, of what our future, yani, our future line was. How are we going to connect with the things which becomes unknown? That's the Hajj. That's the Hajj that we are talking about, that the Quran speaks about, not the ritual Hajj we did in the dark. The real Hajj, that was a dry walk, that was a dry run. That was just there in order to see whether we would extract the essence, the lessons, and understand what it is we would go through in the real run after having been through the apprenticeship. Okay? Remember who was the apprentice? It wasn't just there because he was the apprentice. He was getting himself ready for this run that you are currently going through now. Okay? They have contracts, people. Understand the game. They're not your enemy. They are only fulfilling their covenant. Okay? If they take charge of the night, and that is the abna of Yaqub, that is the brothers of Yusuf, that's the faulty ideas, the bad beliefs, the things that you thought was real. That's what you had to purge from in order to get into the dawn of Ishaq. Okay. Physiologically, psychologically, in truth, where Allah resides. Okay? Because Allah wanted, always as I say, Allah wanted to find out whether yani, Musa would come home. Yani, وَأَرْضِعِيهِ. It's in your Quran, in Surah Qasas. Don't worry, he's going to get lost in the dark, he's going to go astray, yani, he's going to forget who he is. Yani. But let's just see whether you would be able to come to his natural order, because the cycle is planted in that way. Okay. So when Musa returns and he finds his authenticity, okay, and he could extinguish that flame of ego and mistrials, okay, he could readjust and align to his natural order. All of you in psychology, in conscious, supposed to have been right there today. Quran gives it according to the chapters. You have to understand, Quran does not wait on you. فَإِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهَا لَا يَسْتَأْخِرُونَ سَاعَةً وَلَا يَسْتَقْدِمُونَ. You can't wait on somebody to die and then you continue. No. You have to continue as the river flows, because Jannah is the conscious that is always bringing you closer to the truth. That's the Jannah, because you are synchronized on that rhythm and on that frequency in Nihani. Okay, it's all knowledge. It's all got to do with your honesty, that you didn't compromise your temple, your masjid. Okay, and you held high your Aqsa. This is your Aqsa, your crown, your Sulaiman. Okay, it's all inside of us. Everything is inside. What your adversary had to do is, hulle moet vir julle gegee het so veel poison as possible. En net 'n halal stempel. Okay. You can see what the situation is today. Okay. And we are addicted to tablets, we are addicted to chemicals, we are addicted to putting even chemicals on our heads and on our children. There's nooit, wallahi, thumma wallahi, is an ayah which passed me by. إِرَمَ ذَاتِ الْإِمَادِ الَّذِي لَمْ no, إِرَمَ يعني إِرَم is the arm, that is إِرَم ذَاتِ الْعِمَادِ التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد. Okay, you and I are in that boat of Iram. Okay, Iram is the arm, Rama Iram. Okay, so once you got yourself, your arms exchanged, And your hands, your aid, يعلم أيديهم. Your hands were cut. Why was it cut? You and I exchanged it for something synthetic called money. Okay? You didn't need, your hands could do everything, people. But we substituted this ni'mah and we brought in a fake tool. And that is why we now wanted to eat with different utensils. We wanted to now pay the person, whilst Allah made it sufficient that just with the two hands we could do everything was needed in this journey. At the moment, the aid is cut off. This meaning Arabic aid. يَعْلَمُ أَيْدِيهِمْ. Listen to the word aid, aid. Okay? You must know who cut off your aid. Verstaan julle storie, because is alles in sound, man. As sien wat julle dink wat hulle wil hê julle moet dink. Hy is maar nou net die dark part of the story. Hy sien die regte pad. Die regte pad is binne in. Daar wat jy gaan wees in die Jannah, binne in, nie buitekant. Right? So these scrolls has been given to each one. Your memory, your itinerary, your ancestors, your people, that your tribe that will be with you in this journey. Okay, when you remember, they will remember. When you remember, they will remember, because then you will come to become a member again of your soul tribe. Okay, that's where you had to find yourself over this last 6 years, since 1441, as per the Quran. This is not a scholar speaking. This is not a clever person speaking. This is just a person who loved and will always appreciate the ancestors, the Khalifas, and who made it clear to Allah that our forefathers had given us the roadmap in our blueprint. Okay? And therefore, it is become our responsibility now for those of us who had been given the insight to ensure that the orphans that you and I are leaving behind now, because if your parents cannot teach you, if your parents are in darkness, if they couldn't find the Fajr, the dawn, okay, then who's going to take care of the time? Okay, who's going to take care of those souls that came here to clear the rubbish, the damages? Okay, we have to find for them a home, a bait, where they live in the noor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not in the noor of the fictional reality that you and I casted this current bionic virtual generation in. Okay? So, subhanallah, people, it is not easy, but it is easy. Easy when you have belief and that you are honest to yourself. Honest, be honest, just be honest. Please be honest to yourself. All the answer inside of us. Alles is burning inside. It's just inside. And that judgment that you made over yourselves and cursed other people for the last 4 years of your lives, you didn't fight it outside, you fought it inside, and it's now synchronized, and it is in your blood vessels, people, because you believe that Allah took you to a war zone and you got captured in that world. But it was all trials, because remember, the covenant between Shaitan and Allah. Understand this is a game in play here. Okay, so nobody can do you anything. I cannot help you, you cannot help me now. Okay, it's only your truth that you will have to reconcile with. Whatever mess ups there was, you will have to decode it. Whoever you dislike, you'll have to come to terms with that. That dislike lives inside of you. Whoever you hate, it's you that hate yourself. Yeah, and whoever you think is being given better than you, it's you that has shortchanged yourself. Okay? Allah made no mistake. Allah fulfilled Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's promise. Don't give your children the impression that God is dead. because whilst you kill that God in concept, okay, you can't go back to that same God, nor can your children believe in that God. Okay? Understand what I'm saying? Because we are at the moment blaming everybody else but ourselves, and we have crippled our divine connection to the divine Qahhar, the Wahhab, the Mannan, the Al-Qadir, Al-Muqtadir. Okay? Staan die sifat van Allah Ta'ala sê. Okay? Wat gaan ons doen in die Jannah ons? Vra vir julleself, wat gaan julle doen nou soos julle sat is, as ek sat is? It is a bad, the reports are bad, guys. We had to bring the level of the aggregate to 30% because means 40%. Okay? Everything is playing in front. The truth is in clear sight. We're just reading it as if we are on a permanent journey whilst we are in orbit to be exited now. لَنُخْرِجَنَّكَ يَا شُعَيْبَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَعَكَ. That is what the Quran is directed. Wherever Allah says, wherever will khulu, wherever will deny. But on hope, you knew the truth. And this separation of realities and consciousness now, it is Jannah and Jahannam's reality, because all the time before COVID, we believed in Jannah, we believed in Jahannam. That was a cycle, okay? That was a reality. And now that is a new reality in dawn. What must the next reality be? Jannah and Jahannam. This is the reward time. This is Yawmul Jaza or Yawmul Iqab. Okay? It's here. It's how the Quran gave it to us, how our ancestors gave it to us, and it is how we understand it. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. That's why there's no longer linear time. We are just stuck because we went back into that dark hole, and now we are facing the wrong direction. We can't change our qibla. Okay? In psychology, we can't go up. We have to be buried. Okay? That's the difficult part, because it's the bang die wil nie sê vir die pa, die tyd doen nie, because hy gaan sê wat doen sy van my kind, wie is my kind en die kind en die kind. En dan kan ons al sien wat gaan in die Jahannam. Dit is sy eie kinders, dit is sy eie broers en sisters, die kinders, ons kan dit sien, ons kan sien van ons sit, wat gaan aan is nou op ons skreen. Okay, ons is ons meesteliks daar in die wêreld, right? And you need to understand that this is not, exams is never, doesn't end good. Okay? Understand this. Doesn't end good because each one already knows the results. Allah het niks buitekant gesit nie. Alles binne ingesit. Jy gaan moet envelopie opmaak daar binne in, en jy moet maar self kyk. Ek moet maar self kyk. Hoeveel punte het ek gekry? Wat het ek gefail? Waar en as almal gaan sien waar ons gefail het, dan is ons 'n cover geblaas, broers. Because ons het kans gehad om dit te yamhu. We could erase it with the permission of Allah Ta'ala. When Allah says, Afallahu amma salaf, we believe that we were not good enough. Okay? Which means Allah created an inferior product. And we came from inferior human beings, from slaves, because our adversary told us that we were third class and second class, while we and our ancestors, also forefathers, they thought the greatest of themselves. Hulle het baie mooi gedra, baie mooi agter hulle eie klere gekyk en hulle het hulle eie klere gemaak, daarvoor was hulle so volwassen. Okay? And they were complete people. Of course, there's no Chinese all the way. She in and Temu and all the footages. That took you away. You are in the drift in another world. Okay? That was just importantly to understand what was the purpose. Why are we so khalaqatuka biyadayya? Do it with your own hands. Okay? Eat with your own hands. Try to use your hands because that is where the actual growth is happening in nature. Okay, in your nature, in your fitra. Okay? There is nobody telling your children the truth. Not even you as a mother, not even you as a grandmother, not even you as a grandfather, because you have become afraid of yourself. The fear is so great because the attack, yani, hulle gaan jou attack, because hulle self is bang, because weet die roep gesit in die hart. Ask yourself, who put that fear inside of you? The doubt, the guilt, the fear is caused that. And that is alles because van 'n valse god, geld, money, that is going to now evaporate in the real time. Okay? Whatever you want to believe is money after this yani, new setting. Okay? Anta wa maluk. You have to just believe, but I can tell you that that illusion, that bionic world, every time you die, you come back. That is eternal. Okay? That's not for your children. That's for me and for you. Right? Because having come foreign to our nature and having exchanged our home for a fabricated house. This is amana that we are delivering from our ancestors, from our rusul, from our messaging system, yani, that must get into this timeline on the 13th today. It's full moon coming in tonight, okay? So that we clear our scrolls, we clear our accounts, people. Okay? We tried, billahi wallahi, thumma wallahi, until today we are still trying. But soos ek sê, ons kan nie al die answers gee nie. You have to find your answers. We can just give you like reminders. Andirhum, yani, right? Sawa'un andartahum am lam tundirhum la yu'minu. Okay. Quran speaks about me and you, even though Allah wanted to make us remember or warned us. Ons het gedink God sê mos 'n toy, ons kan vir jou oor en oor speel. Okay. What is coming is real, people. Wallahi, it's real. It's not just I that know it. It's many that is awakening into this dimension of a reality. Because we live from the Quran, we feed, especially made this time open in our lives so that we can help those that is having this journey, and that we could find the true souls of this tribe of our ancestors, and you and I will come to realize what high places our great mothers of this land, waar vandaan kom hulle in die sama. Okay? Wat vir hulle gemaak het sulke great mense to come. Allah is going to give us that connection and that liberty and that freedom and that peace, people. That is what Allah is giving us in this journey. That is wat ek kry op die einde. Daar is nie $100 wat vir jou wag nie. Daar's $100 trillion wat vir jou wag, but dit is in physically, is in conscious. Sy gaan nie meer maak nie, sy gaan dit kan almal opgebruik nie. That's what you came here for. Wat of wat ons nou die shortcut. Nou is ons stuck daar. Allah make it easy for all ons believe. Difficulty vir enige een nie. Wallahi, if you want difficult for others, so sy wil ons geheer dat die mense moet doodgaan, maar sy gesien het op die TV, because hulle het vir jou doodgemaak daar binne. Nou, jy is dood, because sy wil geheer dat iemand anders moet dood. That's psychology, man. It's reversed. It's a mirror reflection in your life. Now, that is how badly this thing went on. Alles because jy het vergeet die Quran. Dit is nie Arabie, moenie bly met Arabie, julle weet nie die storie nie. Niemand is beter as julle nie. Julle voorvaders, het vir julle gesê dat as niemand beter as ons nie. Ons weet wie ons is. En ons moeders en vaders het ons vir ons geshortchange. We didn't grow up poor. You must never tell Allah that. Imagine, het ons gehet al die comfort en het kom na vandag toe. Hoe gaan ons lewe sonder dit? Ons het eintlik ryk opgedra. We were rich. Why? because the abundance was inside of us, people. We knew what was the real value of things, what was the value of relationship, what was the value of the truth, what was the value of having nice akhlaq, what was the value of helping our elderly, what was the value of having good ties with the family. That was the most important thing. Ons sal ons eie afstaan, ons sal ons eie geld afstaan, because ons dink niks van dit as wat ons dink om te salvage a relationship between our cousins and our families. That was the gesture that Allah gave our ancestors to plant in our hearts, so that we will know what it is to feel and know what it is to live in Jannah. That's why we got it. That's why we activated it, and that's why we can proudly say, and we love Allah. We can't say we know Allah. No, no, no. We must say we love Allah, because we were given that keys by our ancestors. And when the time came and they gave us the batons and we knew what was unfolding, we did what we had to do, people. Because we believe in the akhirah, we don't just mimic it. Allah said, hulle gaan sê, hulle glo, maar julle gaan sien, hulle sal doodal voor die dood kom. Ons weet wie is dood. En ons weet, wie is die mense wat geglo het. Without having to say, because you live, all is inside of us. Die movie speel binne, speel nie buitekant nie. Okay? We are sitting on a major volcano. And as you know, Ethiopia, it's the earth that is speaking, people. The earth, it's the Mother Earth that is waking up. Okay? You must feel her pulse, because you and I, we come from her. We are in contact with her. Okay? She speaks to you. You don't need to watch a movie to know. You feel all these things that is happening, because you are aligned to your nature. You are subscribed to Mother Nature's network and news bulletins. Getting all what you need to go, because you are contented now. Sy sê, worry, gaan ek my geld verloor, gaan dit nie. People, you have to clear the system. You have to clean the system. Dit was die idee, tahir, tahara, skoongemaak. Okay? The Quran will be a different episode, because what you believed in the Quran, your next generation will believe the opposite. They are in the day, we are stuck at night, dark. Okay? We couldn't find the Fajr. That was the Fajr, right? That was what Allah speaks. تَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَرُوحُ فِيهَا بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ أَمْرٍ سَلَامٌ هِيَ حَتَّى مَطْلَعِ الْفَجْرِ. It wasn't in the physical world, how you got to interpret a journey. It was all metaphysical. It was all in higher dimensions, in higher paths. Okay? But you have to elevate. Allah must give you those keys, okay, to get to where you need to be. Again, don't blame die predikante nie. Hulle maak ook maar 'n lewe as 'n salary vir hulle, so they must sell the word of God. Okay? It's you and I that had shortchanged ourselves. And that is the reality of it. And you're not going to hear it anywhere else. This is not fear, this is truth. Because in Jannah, only truth lives. Okay? Jahannam, you can smear, and I can smear myself with lies and hypocrisy and illusions and putting each other into hypnosis. Okay? But for now, guys, because we need to tell the children the truth now. That's our biggest hurdle here. We gotta tell our children, guys, we lost track, and we fell into the hole. That's gonna happen. That's not from me. We don't do anything, people. You just read. Just read it, that's all. You can't do anything, you're just living in a simulation. Your niyyah is your weapon now, your niyyah. And if it will good for the majority of humanity, then you will be accepted. But if you want destruction, then you will be where you are, find yourself. Locked up, behind the screen. You cannot get into the freedom space of the Jannah. May Allah grant our ancestors, our khalifas, our imams, die moeders wat so deur baie dinge gegaan het, net om vir ons te safeguard dat ons kan deur die passage gekom het, mashallah. Daarvoor moet ons ons lewe opgee vir hulle, because they are just too great. Hulle is te valid, hulle is te pure, dat ons moet vir hulle in die skan sit. Okay, in die sama waar alles gebeur, nie in die donker room, in die sama waar hulle is vandag. Okay, Allah Ta'ala accept, ons gaan maar sê fikir maak vandag, gaan dat maak, wat sarig besigheid te wees, just being yourself, getting back to your authenticity and your cultural orientations, and get your children in the crowd here. Let's bring them back in the crowd here, because there's beautiful things awaiting each and every one of us. May Allah accept everything of our mothers and our fathers, your sacrifices, our sacrifices, those who made sacrifices, and as we enter into this full super moon that Allah Ta'ala has made and accessible for us to release the last of what we had to impart for those who would not continue the journey. May Allah accept it all. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Shukran for sharing your
يا مصطفى كل شيء لله يا نورا من نور الله يا مصطفى كل شيء